Hey everyone, this is Daniel,
And I'm June,
and we are
Korean.
American.
Hey Daniel,
Hey Jun,
have you been to Jeollado?
I have never been to Cholado. I want to go.
Yeah, Jeollado. We've talked about Jeollado a lot, and I always recommend going to Jeollado for the food.
Uh-huh.
They're very famous for their food.
Yeah.
And there's a place called Gokseong. I don't know how to open this.
How many times have you been to Cholado?
Jeollado. I want to say less than 10 times.
Less than 10
Yeah.
in your whole life.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's no really big reason to actually go other than to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, at least.
Yeah. If you don't have family there or
mhm.
business.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Is Gokseong a real place?
It is a real place. Yeah. Okay, anyways, today we're going to do another media review
Yes.
of this. It's not a recent film. It was actually released in 2016, but it's one of the most famous horror films in Korea and most critically acclaimed one. And it is called Gokseong.
Or in English, The Wailing.
Yeah.
June, I only knew the latter, not the former. I knew it was very critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
A lot of Korean film enthusiasts, or film enthusiasts in general, often cite this as one of the must-see Korean films.
Yeah.
But I had no idea it was horror.
You didn't. Oh, interesting.
Oh, I was watching it late at night, right, in the dark, by myself, with my noise-canceling earbuds in, so my kids don't wake up.
Yeah.
And 20 minutes in, I was like, why am I watching this? I need to watch it during the daytime.
Oh, you didn't know. So because of the fact that you first brought this up
Yeah,
reviewing this film.
because it's
So
very famous.
So I thought you knew what it was.
No.
Interesting.
I wanted to watch it, and then I saw it was on Disney Plus. And so, when we were trying to come up with episode topics, this one came up as a potential for media review. And so I said, yeah, it's a good excuse to watch it.
Yeah. We cannot not talk about the title.
Okay.
Because you only know it as The Wailing.
Yeah.
And it's Gokseong in Korean. And it's a little bit unfortunate that it is almost impossible to translate because Gokseong has a very clever double meaning in Korean. Of course, Gokseong is the city, it's the actual city where all of this takes place in the movie.
And it's an actual real life city in Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also Gokseong in a different Chinese character, but same pronunciation means the wailing.
Okay.
So I think that was super
Clever.
clever. Yeah.
Is there a formal Korean word term for that when it's the same Hangul but different Hanja? What is it called?
동의의어.
Kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
동음, 의,
이의어.
이의어.
Yeah. 동음.
It's just ends in vowels.
동음 means same pronunciation.
Uh-huh.
이의 means different meaning. 어 is word.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the equivalent of a homonym in English.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually not sure if homonym's the right equivalent.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Anyways, the director is called Na Hong-jin. He's very very famous for his.
Horror.
I think this was his first horror film.
Okay.
But he was already famous for his previous two films,
Oh.
which was 추격자 and 황해. I haven't seen 황해 before, but I know that it's very famous. 추격자 was a very famous one, loosely based on an actual serial killer character. Yeah.
So it's not, I think the only two Korean directors I know are the Parasite guy,
Bong Joon-ho,
Bong Joon-ho, and the old boy guy,
Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
but not one of those two. Let's see. Before this movie came out, did Gokseong have any, would people have known about it in Korea? Did it have any stigmas or stereotypes about it?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I think most Korean people would have heard
Yeah.
the city name and knew that it's in Jeollado somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not really known for anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Isn't
As
it
far
kind
as
of
I know.
messed up naming a horror movie after a city? Like, what did Gokseong ever do to
If
you?
anything, now they have like something to talk about.
Some claim to fame.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Blair Witch Project?
Yes, it's one of my favorite horror
Oh,
films.
so you like horror in general?
I
Or
don't
you're okay
like
with it?
I don't like horror, but I like creativity.
Uh,
If I remember correctly, that was the very first format of like that handheld whatever.
yeah,
So at the
shaking.
time, people, at least me, I didn't even know whether this was fiction or nonfiction.
Yeah.
And they very cleverly, if you go to their website, it wasn't like introducing a movie. They made it so that it felt like they're just showing evidence of this incident. So I think I was in elementary school when I first saw it.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember actually renting a video
Oh, yeah.
from the video rental shop. And at the moment, I thought it was real.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people thought it was real.
Yeah.
So that was so smart. Yeah.
I only bring it up because it was horror, but it was filmed in my hometown of Maryland.
Oh, was
Home
it?
state. Yeah.
Do you actually have that forest?
I've never watched the movie,
Oh,
so I'm sure if it was filmed there, there's a real forest where it was filmed, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
I think it was also famously low budget, so that's why they had to do like this
Yeah.
shaky camera work. Or
I think
whatever.
at least at the time it was like record breaking like production costs to like
Yeah, profit ratio.
Yeah.
Cost the ROI was very high.
yeah.
Okay. So the Wailing. How should we do this?
It wasn't my first time watching this, but it has been a long time, so I rewatched it.
Okay. And was it a big one of those blockbuster in Korea? Was it very popular and lots of people watched it?
I think it gained close to 7 million in
views.
Korea.
Okay. And you said 10 million is like that mark where it's like really big.
But 7 million is still
Pretty
really good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so again, I knew nothing about it. So I watched it over two viewing sessions.
Oh, you did?
I was literally too afraid to finish it.
Oh.
I was also getting tired, but
Okay.
anyway. Yeah. Okay. I took some notes. I don't know. Sometimes we do a brief synopsis. Do you think it's worth it?
Okay.
We can ask. I don't have that synopsis. We can just ask
so-
ChatGPT.
I can just
Okay.
roughly say it.
Yeah. Again, spoilers, right?
I think it's safe to spoil this
It's
one.
been 9
like,
years.
Yeah.
No, but the other thing before we dive in, we will be reviewing this media, but not as like film critics. The goal is to highlight maybe cultural things that stand out.
Yeah.
That might be good jumping off points to discuss Korean and American culture. So yeah, if you're looking for a movie critique, this is
Yeah.
not it.
So I'll try my best to describe the synopsis. So it's describing a series of very mysterious events that are happening in this small city. So I want to say almost town called Gokseong. And all of these events somewhat is revolving around the main character called Jonggu. He's a policeman in the city. Very, I want to say one of the most normal families that you can think of,
Okay.
right? And this guy's a very normal guy. He has nothing special about himself. He's a little cowardly, I think,
Okay.
his character.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, so he goes through these mysterious like murder or like death events that are happening around the city, and you think it's very strange because it's a very calm and peaceful small town, and he starts to think that it's somewhat related to this Japanese guy who moved into the city a couple, I guess, months ago. And so the story is about this relationship between the Japanese guy and the mysterious horror events that are happening in the city. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that works. Let's just start with the name then, actually. Because in my notes, June, I think it was 30 minutes in until I realized where this was taking place.
Ah.
And it's because I saw this Namdo on the fire truck. The fire truck had the name Namdo.
Oh, did it?
So someone watching this without knowing the Korean name is also the name of a city in Jeollado. It took me 30 minutes to know even where in Korea this was happening.
Ah.
And not only where, but when, like what era. So I think that to you was immediately obvious. You know this is in the South, a very rural, small city.
Yes, because of the saturis that they're using.
Also the accent they're using.
Yeah.
I recognize the Satori, but again, I don't. So maybe, okay. One of my notes, June, was, they're sleeping on the floor in a hanok. What does that do for you immediately as a Korean viewer? Because for me, I was thinking, are they rich? Are they poor? Is it 60s or 70s? So I actually thought this was probably taking place like 50 years ago or something like that. But then I saw the fire truck and I was like, wait, no, it's like a modern fire truck.
Yeah.
So is this supposed to be happening kind of in modern times, but just in a poor area? And is that family, do you think, typical for that area, or are they kind of seen as poor? Because in my mind, I'm like, they got like 3 hanok buildings together. They're kind of like probably upper middle class, if anything.
I think what you're trying to get at is that they're very typically normal.
Okay.
Not rich nor poor. They're just like very average for that Shigor town.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was not obvious to me for a very long time. And again, I had to read the Jeollanamdo on the fire truck before I realized this was happening in that area. So even at that point, actually, until you mentioned it, I never knew what the Korean name was. Definitely did not know it was the name of the city this took place in. So,
I see.
Okay, there's the opening line. It starts with someone reading a Bible verse.
Yeah.
I think this immediately made me think, okay, what does a typical Korean know about Christianity? And would they identify this as a Bible verse? Of course, at the end, they said whatever Luke, blah, 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 chapter verse.
Yeah.
So by that point, I expect every Korean would know, this is from the Christian Bible. But would your typical Korean just know from the quote itself? It was something about Jesus' resurrection, but a little bit like, do you believe? Would that immediately register as a Christian verse to people?
If you don't go to church, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
Without seeing like the last, because it says like
Luke,
누가
blah, blah, blah.
복음 in Korea.
Oh, it said what?
누가 복음?
That's
It's Luke.
Oh, Luca 복음. Okay.
Gospel.
Oh, the Gospel of Luke.
Yeah.
At that point, everyone would know. But
Yeah,
before
yeah.
then, it might be just some random manuscript or wise saying or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's hard for me to say because as a Christian, immediately, like within 2 words, I know they're quoting the Bible. But I don't know what your typical American non-Christian would know or associate. But I think they would probably be very familiar with Bible verses in general. But yeah, I think, I don't know if we want to go deep on this now. Maybe at the end, I'll cover my talking points and we can go into the 2 big themes I wanted to cover today. But Christianity and I think its place in society is one of them. But yeah, we'll go into that later. Okay. End of the opening scene, there was like a dried thing hanging. It was a green shoot that was alive in the middle of dried herbs. Obviously, by the end of the movie, this started to register for me.
Wait, when this has come up?
It's the end of the opening scene when he finishes investigating the first murder scene.
Oh, yeah.
But by the end of the movie, you know what that little green thing is. It's a charm left to ward off evil spirits, let's say.
In the first murder scene.
Yeah,
or the first scene. Yeah.
But they clearly zoomed in on it. It's clearly important. Did you have any idea what that was at that point?
No.
You neither, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at some point in the beginning of the film, they also mention that they're suspicious that maybe they ate some type of mushroom. So I also thought was that a mushroom?
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. You also were not sure what that was. Okay. It's supposed to be mysterious. My next point, June, is because they depicted someone, I think, who had set a snare for deer or something, and they were hunting for food, is what I read it as, or saw it as. And so my immediate question was, how common is hunting for food in Korea?
Oh, that person is not hunting for food. That person is running a business that usually sells like medicine, like Korean medicine.
Oh, they're getting the antlers or something.
And a lot of the times they would like, I've never seen hunting, but they breed, especially like 흑염소, black sheep. And they would make it into like a liquid form Chinese medicine, whatever, for your like stamina or whatnot.
Deer antler or whatever.
So I think that guy is running that type of business, and therefore, that's very rare that I see someone actually hunting in the mountains.
Okay.
But I think that's what he was doing.
All right. Yeah. Immediately, like I assumed he was hunting for food. He had set a trap and he was doing it to eat.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, hunting's not common in America for food.
Yeah.
But people still do it.
I don't even think it's legal.
In Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. I think he was illegally hunting.
Or trapping animals for some medicinal purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, just hunting is still, It's one of those things that people are maybe who are against gun control or for more gun control in America. They always maybe, I don't know, roll their eyes at. It's like people always bring up, well, what if I'm hunting for food? I can do that. Why can't I hunt for food?
Yeah.
But I did some research and I think, yeah, still maybe 5% of Americans, like 10 million people still a year still hunt for actual and eat what they catch.
But it's not for actually, I mean, it's more recreational than to actually.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I think, recreational hunting is probably even bigger, actually. But the research I read is that it's actually hunting for eating.
I know, but like recreational eating is what I'm trying to get
Oh, like
at.
fishing is for recreational.
Yeah. It's not to actually sustain your household.
Interesting question.
For instance, I saw Mark Zuckerberg hunting and barbecuing whatever he
I get
caught.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I would say as a significant portion. So, my dad loves fishing. He doesn't sport fish. He eats everything he catches. Would I say that's for recreation or for sport or for feeding? It's for feeding. He wants to go catch food that he can eat. And it's, of course, he likes. I asked him once, like, oh, would you ever go sports fishing? Like, it's the thrill of the hunt, right? Reeling in these huge fish.
Yeah.
He's like, if you can't eat it, I'm not fishing. He basically does want to eat exactly what he catches. So I think in a similar vein, that's this number, about 5%, maybe 10 million Americans still hunt in order to eat what they can catch.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that was one of my. I totally misinterpreted the scene as an American.
Yeah.
I thought this person was hunting, and I just thought it'd be very uncommon in Korea. Is that a controversial though? Like there are deer all around Korea. Like you can catch things to eat. Is that controversial that hunting's illegal?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess what would you hunt with? Bow and arrow is much harder than a
Bow
gun.
and arrows, yeah.
Hey, come on, people can hunt with bow and arrow. But if you don't have a gun, what would you hunt with? You might set snares and traps.
Yeah.
My next note, June, as I said earlier, was, oh man, is this a zombie film? I hate horror. There were zombies in it.
Yeah.
But it was not a zombie movie, thankfully. Yeah.
That's my least favorite part.
The zombies, like why did they bring it? It's so fake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, why is there a zombie?
Yeah. It made it very unbelievable.
But I think now that I think about it, because it has a lot of like biblical references and metaphors. At the end of the movie, like latter part of the movie, the Japanese guy is doing some kind of ritual to
bring someone back to life.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
And that became a zombie, right? How did you think of the overall theme as a Christian? Did you get offended? Because like in the last scene, it obviously shows a devil that is depicted
portrayed as Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah. We'll get into it later.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was not offended at all. Yeah. After the horror comment I wrote, man, Korean movies always have some twisted stuff. My immediate next one was after they first introduced the police, I don't know, lieutenant. He's pretty senior, but not the number one, right? Second in command. They introduced his daughter. I was like, oh, she done. She's dead. Poor daughter. I'm worried for her. And then I think they showed the girls, I wrote girls are playing an ocarina. Yeah, and then I wrote, I've never in my life actually ever seen or heard an ocarina until we went to Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I know it's not famous in my mind. There's a Zelda video game called Ocarina of Time. And so for that reason, I knew what it was, but I'd never seen or heard one like physically before.
As far as I understand, I think ocarinas were first introduced to Korea after the movie Titanic.
Titanic had an ocarina?
The main song, I think, called My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, the song has an ocarina song. Yeah.
That's played on an ocarina?
I think so.
So random.
And I think, as far as I understand, that's when I first heard of the instrument called ocarina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd never heard one before. But funny enough, my aunt, she is obsessed with playing the ocarina.
Really?
She's so good too. She played for us once. She's so good. But yeah, it's one of those instruments for me. In America, you grow up, maybe kids play a recorder, which I know I've seen them in Korea too. But ocarina is just such a foreign instrument. And
I didn't
as someone who's
know.
seen Titanic and like I liked it, I had no idea that opening thing was a ocarina. Yeah.
So I didn't know the recorder is in the educational curriculum in the US.
It is. Oh, when you were in first grade, did you learn to play one?
Funny story. I think I think you get introduced to a recorder starting from third grade.
Uh-huh.
And so when my family went to live in the States and came back to Korea, it was 1992. And I started first grade and my brother started third grade, right? And the teacher told the class to bring a recorder, and my brother came back to my parents and say, I need a recorder.
Yeah.
No one knew what a recorder is.
Yeah.
So you know what he took?
A voice recorder? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Oh, I didn't know it was I thought it was a Korean thing.
The recorder?
Yeah.
No. It's standard. I think every kid learns. That's how they are introduced to music.
Because it's so easy to make the sound, right?
I think so.
As opposed to compared to like a flute, right?
Yeah.
You have to learn to actually make the sound.
Oh, flutes are really hard.
Yeah.
I think in America, the standard music curriculum, I might be wrong. This has been a while, but personally, I think you learn the triangle, of course. Just you hit something. Then you learn the xylophone or xylophone in Korean, and then recorders after that. Yeah.
Oh, in Korea, there's
Those are
this
like the
thing called
building blocks of
melody
music.
or melody horn,
Melody horn. Okay.
where it's kind of like an accordion, but you blow into
Harmonica. Yeah.
No, but it's a
Oh.
it's a keyboard
Oh, it's a keyboard?
that you blow in your breath into to make a sound.
No. I have to look this up. Melody horn.
Yeah.
What? I don't know why I'm laughing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, this is a I don't know if they do it now, but
But
when
you
I
grew
was
up
growing
learning
up,
this.
yeah.
Melody horn.
Yeah.
So it's a piano. It's literally a piano with a little windpipe.
Yes.
A keyboard with a
Yeah.
windpipe. Wow. Yeah. So different. I should also mention harmonica. I don't think we ever learned that in school. But I suspect at least my house had a harmonica growing up. And so you just like blew in it.
Really?
Yeah. We never learned it, but it was like a household item. Have you ever seen a harmonica?
I think at some point we had it in our house,
Oh, you also had one.
but I don't think it's a common thing.
To have a harmonica.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it seems very Western. Yeah. Oh, dude, this melody horn is wild. Sorry.
So apparently they don't have it in the curriculum anymore.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't know it.
Oh, in
You would have known if they had it, if they made you learn this in school, right?
melody horn?
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying in America they had a melody horn?
No,
I thought
in
this was
Korea, in Korea. But your kids are going to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the younger years. Yeah. But I think this is definitely a 초등학교 thing.
Yeah.
So my kids I wouldn't know anyway. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Yes, I wrote 전라남도, which, side note, the spelling of 전라남도 in Hangul is not what I would have expected it to be.
Really? What did you
Because
expect?
there's 전, 라, 남도. I would have thought it was 저, 라, 남도.
저라?
Yeah.
저라?
저라. No
저라,
neon
남도?
under
Ah.
전. Yeah. It's a silent end though, right?
No.
When you say 전라 남도.
If you write it in the way that you wrote it,
Yeah.
you would pronounce it as 저라.
Oh, 저라 instead of 절라.
Yeah.
So that
저라.
N becomes an L.
Yeah.
At the very least, that would have been 지어 리을 절라, but it's the N becomes an L.
Do you know the interesting fact of how these dolls are named?
Yeah, they were combined two ancient cities into one.
Oh yes.
Ah.
So 전주 and 나주 together is
I didn't
전라도.
realize it was Jeonju. I couldn't tell you which cities combined into what.
Yeah.
But you said the Jeon in Jeolla is from Jeonju.
Yeah.
And the La is from
나주.
Laju. Okay.
Yeah.
That would make it obvious that
Yeah.
it's spelled Jeonla.
경상도 also is a combination of 경주 and 상주.
Okay. Gyeongsang. Yeah, and this is where I made my note around the fire truck, so I knew it was taking place in Jeollado. Oh, this is where I thought it was actually taking place historically, because they referred to it as bansu, like underwear.
반스.
Yeah, And so, again, I thought that would have indicated this was taking place 30, 40 years ago. But you suspect in modern day 전라도, they might still refer to underwear as pants.
Yes, but not specifically because they're 전라도 people. It's because they're like 시골 people.
Is 전라도 not all 시골?
Huh?
Is 전라도 not all 시골?
Well, like Gwangju is a big city in 전라도.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are still cities in 전라도.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
specifically, this is 시골 would still use the term pants.
Yeah.
I feel validated. Yeah. I was traumatized when I used the word 난닝고 and pants in LA, Koreatown. And I just got laughed at so hard. This was not that long ago, like
Yeah.
10 years ago. I was like, I think I was undressing for a suit fitting.
Yeah.
And said something like, oh, 난닝고도 벗어요? They were like, 난닝고. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I went down a little rabbit hole with pants. It's from the Japanese word for pants, right? I had no idea. I don't know why my parents didn't think to teach me that, like, oh, pants, it used to be how, like, pants, right? I never made that connection until I watched this movie and researched the etymology of
Oh,
pants.
really?
Yeah.
Do you know what's the etymology of 난닝구?
That someone had told me like 5-10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Running man.
Yeah.
Or running gu. Yeah.
Running.
Running. Nanning, running. Yeah.
Yeah.
But pansa I never knew. Anyway. Okay. So I also made a side note, Jun. I still use pansa to my kids. I don't know what else to call it. Panty?
Panty.
But for guys, do they also wear panty?
Yeah, panty is the pants.
Oh. See, I just feel you would never refer to, you say underpants, but panty specifically, I think, refers to girls' underwear.
In American English, yes.
For me, yeah. So I'd like, for my son, I'm like, oh, take off your underpants. I wouldn't know what to say. Like, take off your pantsa is natural for me. Take off your panty is not.
They call it underwear for some reason nowadays.
Underwear.
Yeah. A lot of things are just becoming more and more like American, which I don't know how I feel about.
Yeah. I made a note, June. There were still some comedic moments, which I greatly appreciated, despite it being a gruesome horror movie.
The car scene.
I forget exactly where this was, but maybe that. Yeah. No, but I feel like there were other comedic moments throughout that I was able to laugh and pick up on.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I'm sure it was done very intentionally to lighten it up a bit, or maybe to provide more contrast to how horrible the events are.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got to another, I think, more reasonable topic. So I wanted to talk about your perception of cops. So you already said in the beginning that cops in Korea, like he was maybe a little cowardly, but just your typical cop.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to get at.
Yeah.
In my mind, I said the main character seems just like an American depiction of your typical cop. Overweight, lazy, cowardly, do nothing.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. But I think cops have a slightly different nuance in the States because they can use a lot more force on you, whereas in Korea you can't.
I see.
So you feel more friendly
Yeah.
and less powerful
Yeah.
when you're viewing a cop in Korea.
Oh, the
Compared
cops
to-
feel less powerful.
Yeah. The
yeah.
cops feel less powerful.
Yeah. I think that's where in America there's a very clear power dynamic. They have a gun they can use. They can arrest you,
Yeah.
right? In Korea, I think they're just kind of more friendly.
Yeah.
So they demand less respect.
Yes.
Whether that respect is out of fear or not in Korea, you know. But if anything, I think you respect the authority and power that cops wield.
Yeah.
I see.
There's always a big controversy and public criticism towards the fact that Korean cops don't have more authority over like using force. I personally think that Korean cops should have more power. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this brings us to our next point because I wrote there's a girl throwing rocks at police and they're not doing anything.
Wait, you're not going to talk about the car scene?
I did make a note of that.
I just thought it was so funny.
Okay, fine. The scene is where the main character...
Like the way that the wife is giving the signal is so funny.
Wait, what signal?
Because she's like doing the ballet.
Oh,
get
yeah, I
that?
picked up on that. I
Yeah.
picked up on that, yeah.
That was just so funny.
Actually, I didn't realize. I picked up that she was doing some signal,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that's what she was signaling.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I don't think it's what's obvious until you see the
Yeah.
next scene. Yeah.
So the scene is again the cop and his wife. They live with the mother as well, mother-in-law maybe.
Yeah.
They don't, I think, clarify. But yeah, so they don't have any place to do it, and so yeah, they do it in the car, and then the daughter walks up and makes it very awkward.
Yeah.
But I think that was a very important scene in my mind. It showed that they have a very healthy marriage and a strong relationship still.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, you're just thinking this cop's just a worthless person. But then you realize, no, he's a good husband, good father. Yeah, he might not be good at his job, or maybe his job doesn't demand anything of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an important scene. Okay, yeah. The girl's throwing rocks at the police, and the police are doing nothing. Like, she is... Obviously, she's depicted as a little mentally off.
Yeah.
Because she's crouching down and she's just throwing rocks, not saying anything. But I'm like... Again, in America, you don't antagonize cops.
Yeah.
You don't know what they might do. And there's, seemingly very little accountability when they do things. So, yeah, it just felt so... even though I know Korean cops might be different, that's still that perception of cops, and you have to be careful, you don't antagonize, is still with me. I was just nervous, like, why is she doing that? The cops are going to blow up and like do something horrible to her.
Yeah.
But she seems to have no fear of them.
Yeah. But it also depends on the character of the individual. And I think the movie was trying to depict this person who's very passive and trying to react to something.
Yeah.
Also a very like mellow, nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not power tripping.
Yeah.
No anger issues per se. Yeah. So if anything, it made the cops feel very patient. But even still, yeah, that... in a sense, like, my American mind was like, oh, she's asking for it. She's really antagonizing the police.
Yeah. And this is the first time where, at least in the movie, one of the characters are describing the Japanese person as the 귀신.
Yeah.
일본 놈이 귀신이라. Yeah.
I wanted to get into that a bit, but maybe later. No, we can do it now. So yeah, the main, let's say, antagonist at the beginning is the Japanese person who moved in. And obviously they had to make him Japanese.
Yeah.
I think it served the role later on.
Yeah.
But immediately I think you're like, oh, are they discriminating against him? Is he actually evil? Like stuff like that, right? I think what's going through your mind as they introduce a Japanese character as let's say, as the antagonist?
I think the way that they chose this person to be Japanese is very interesting, because if you actually watch the movie, it has nothing to do with, the Korean-Japanese relationship per se.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters whether he's Japanese or not. He just could have been any other foreigner. He could have been easily Chinese and it would have been the same, right? I don't think the part that he's Japanese really played a huge role.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I think I disagree a little bit.
okay.
Just because I don't want to get into it now. But I'll just mention it. One of the themes of the movie for me is, I think, things are not as they seem.
Yeah.
And like your perception of someone influences how you perceive their actions as good or bad, right? And so for me in my mind, I know the history between Japan and Korea. Oh, they're introducing a Japanese character as the evil guy. It's too tropey. It's too obvious.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you feel bad thinking that way.
Yeah.
And then you're like, maybe I shouldn't prejudge him.
Oh.
But I thought just like...
So you're saying that the director intentionally chose this person to be Japanese to do that mind play.
Exactly.
Oh, I think that's true. That's very smart.
Maybe the equivalent in America would be an all-white town.
Yeah.
And then the black guy moves in.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, the audience is like, oh, how can they make the black guy the bad guy?
Yeah.
But then you feel bad thinking that they're the bad guy.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Okay. But yeah, I was wondering if you felt that guilt thinking like, oh yeah, the Japanese guy's evil, but I shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah, so it almost goes to the extent of like he shouldn't be a bad person, because if he is a bad person, it's so obvious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
My next note was the police tape. And this is where I still wasn't sure what time era this was taking place in. But the police, the yellow police tape they put up to warden off or to section off an area, a crime scene, it literally had English words on it. Police line, do not cross or whatever.
They still do.
Can you, do you, I mean, you probably don't know offhand, but why would a Korean police force use American police tape? Okay, to be fair, it had whatever police line do not cross, and then Hangul next to it, Korean words too, which I didn't read. But why do you need English on your police tape? That stuff, I know it is true to life.
Yeah.
But it just seems so weird to me.
Never thought of it that way, but I think you're right. Like, why would they put... It's so prominent there, right? Police line. But to be fair, in Korean, they also call it a police line. Police line.
Okay.
So maybe it's natural for them to think maybe just write the English word as well. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like maybe even if Korea's police force and detective protocol is trying to mimic the West, you don't need to go so far as to import their police tape.
Does it look exactly the same?
Yeah, it looks exactly, except American police tape doesn't have the Hangul next to it. There's still this like yellow line. It says police line do not cross. I just thought it was a bit funny.
Could that be like an international agreement?
Maybe. Yeah. To have yellow tape. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The next note, actually, I don't know the context. I was like, oh, LOL, WTF at the lightning strike.
Yeah, it's so out of the blue.
Just talk about like shock comedic, like whatever. So
it is
ridiculous.
very comedic because right before that happens, he says like 벼락 맞아 죽는 whatever. It's like, it's just a saying in Korea, saying of like,
it's like being struck by lightning.
Yeah.
It's so uncommon, right?
Not referring to the fact that it's uncommon. It's like you would get cursed if you do something. Okay. If you do something, you would like get struck by lightning, meaning that like the gods will punish you.
Yeah.
And then it immediately a second later it actually happens.
See, I didn't know that saying.
Yeah.
Right. But then like it just happened. You're like, what the? Come on. And just like I don't know how scientifically accurate the aftermath of being struck by lightning was.
Yeah.
But it seemed very accurate.
He was like steaming.
Yeah, and he was like kind of still moving.
Yeah.
Like his body was still functioning.
Yeah.
But clearly, it wasn't going to end well. Anyway. Oh, and then there was a scene. I'm sure you know this scene. Korean like rolling mountains with the fog and like the sun rising or setting in the background. Like that I feel like it's a very famous scene in Korea.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Back in the days, in public television, we only had 4 channels when I was growing up. And what the channels always did, so they had like a curfew and a starting time. It's just crazy, right? They started like 6 a.m. or whatever, and then they ended like 2 a.m. something. And in the beginning and the end of whatever their broadcast starts or end, they always play the national anthem with some kind of like scenery.
Visual,
And those kind of visuals are very like that Korean national anthem visual. Yeah.
Is this a very specific location in Korea, or is it just like a generic, the rolling hills of Korea?
Yeah, it's generic, yeah.
Is it Chiri-san? Is that the one that's famous?
Chiri-san is very famous.
For these hills, like crazy?
I think not specifically. Chiri-san is a very just beautiful mountain. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I hope to see these rolling hills at sunrise or sunset with my own eyes at some point. But yeah, I just love it. It just depicts the natural beauty.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I only have a few more notes because then this is the second half of the movie, which I think gets quite exciting, but in my opinion, not very culturally nuanced, but just super interesting.
Yeah.
And I think getting at the real heart of the movie.
Yeah.
So I wrote down, okay, clearly battle of spiritual forces, Mudang versus Mudang, like spy versus spy.
Yeah.
And this is where I made a note, and maybe we can talk about it. For me, when I see Mudangs doing things, right, like the ceremonial rites or whatever, I'm pretty sure it doesn't hit the same for me as it does for Korean. Because it seems almost like comical, kind of like, how can you possibly believe this works, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But then my immediate thought was like, oh, but when I watch things like The Exorcist, I get really freaked out because it's more in line with my cultural understanding of like demons and spiritual forces and spiritual warfare or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So I called that out because it's like, oh yeah, as a Christian, maybe the Mudang stuff doesn't do anything for me. But I'm guessing as a non-Christian, like, or Buddhist, let's say, in Korea, seeing American exorcist stuff is just like people holding hands and saying something together.
Yeah.
it probably seems similarly silly, like not scary, right?
Yeah, but I think Christian culture is integrated into Korean culture enough that Korean people would see movies like Exorcist and think that it's scary too.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Like the seance or whatever, trying to communicate with the other
Oh,
realm,
yeah.
right?
Isn't that scary though?
It's scary for me because I kind of believe in this stuff.
You, but now that you mention it,
Yeah.
there was like this I don't know if it's Malaysia or Indonesia in the 90s, I want to say. There was this very famous incident where aircraft full of people just disappeared out of the blue. And they were trying to find this.
Yeah. I remember one of these cases.
Right?
Yeah.
And the government officially hired a shaman
Yeah.
to like perform on these things to find the passengers.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I thought that was funny.
Okay. You were like, come on, that's dumb.
So I think it's the same sentiment.
But in Korea, if it happened and they hired a Mudang, you'd be like, that makes sense.
No, they would tanek
They would be
impeached.
Yeah, I mean, okay. When I see like, the bright colors, the bells, the
Yeah.
rice, the animal's blood, I'm just like, this is kind of barbaric and very primitive.
Yeah,
right.
it is
How can
primitive.
how can you possibly believe this?
Yeah.
But do you like get the chills or creeped out when you see mudangs being performed or mudangs performing the rites?
I've never seen a mudang perform. That ceremony. That ceremony is called a gut. To that extreme of an extent, like
Yeah.
with like putting animal blood on his face and stuff like that. That is serious stuff.
Okay,
I've never
okay,
seen that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would not be common for Koreans
That would
to
be
see.
very creepy. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Not good, sorry. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, just the cinematography of the Mudang performing something against the Japanese guy and the Japanese guy doing something to, like, either, I think at first you think that they're being impacted by the Mudang ceremony, the gut, but later on you realize they're doing their own separate ceremonial rite to do something else.
You realize that?
No, later on by the end.
I didn't realize that in my first watch of the movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
only understood that after watching like the reviews of the movie.
I had to think about it a bit.
But it was intentionally edited that way
Yes, to make you
trick
think
the
that.
audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, okay. In my mind, it didn't make sense because, like, when he rose up after, in hindsight, again, very clearly, I think he was a different person after that.
Who was?
The Japanese man.
He was a different person after he woke up.
After he he woke up from that thing, and you were supposed to think he was recovering because the Mudang ceremony got halted, the gut got halted.
Yeah.
But again, in hindsight, you can realize like, oh, he was just like his character changed after that, and so that was something else, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe I thought for a second the gut had worked too.
So it was actually the girl who was casting a spell on the Japanese person.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I don't remember.
If
Oh
you
yeah, eventually, yeah. You at the end of that, you saw her looking at it.
yeah.
Ah.
So she's supposed to be like the spiritual guardian of the town or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Now we can. Yeah. To be clear, like the last 45 minutes, I had no notes. It was just a great movie at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they had the setup and stuff like that, I still don't. I wrote a note too. I'm a little confused by the ending. Maybe it's too complicated for me. Maybe it's meant to be ambiguous.
For everyone, I think.
But yeah, there were two major themes I wanted to cover as a result of this movie. One was like Christianity and how it's perceived in comparison to, let's say, the other religions in Korea, and what the role of the priest was, how much they would pick up, how much Koreans might pick up on the references. Like this movie is bookended by Bible verses.
Yeah.
Do those register for Koreans? And then they showed things like a hole in the hand.
Yeah.
During the gut, the Mudang was basically nailing 5 giant nails into a wood. I mean, clearly, that to me, when I see that, that's pointing to the crucifixion, right? Like they were crucifying the demon, for example. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, and then there's a second topic I'll bring up later.
So I think I'm your very typical non-Christian Korean. So just to describe my personal understanding, first of all, I didn't know that verse that came up in the first scene of the movie was a Bible verse before I saw like the Nuga Bogum thing. Second, I did not register the nail hitting to a crucifixion at the moment. I did know that at the end of the scene when the devil shows his hand and it's like punctured, I did understand that that was a sign of crucifixion in Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, the role of the priest as well, and like him, that was, I'm thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
So he was playing the role of intermediary, right? Because he was bilingual. He could translate from the Korean police, civilian, let's say, everyday person, under attack with the Japanese demon.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess, I don't know if there's any symbolism there. It's
I
like
think 'cause
Christianity, the bridge between
I think
one and the other.
A priest serves as an intermediary between God and human. I think that was a symbol of that, no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again and again, the Japanese, like the devil is somewhat superimposed with Christ throughout the movie. So the priest is somehow translating, acting as an intermediary between, human and the god.
This demon, or
the demon
is he
and
a
the
god?
god.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's get into, I think you had a question for me, like regarding that scene.
Yeah. So I'm not Christian myself, so it didn't have any impact on me, but I couldn't stop think that this would be super offensive to a Christian because it's obviously depicting the devil as Jesus.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, how did that impact you?
Yeah, that was one of my, like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
So to describe the scene very briefly, at the very end, the Japanese man, I mean, you think he died, but then he's shown actually still alive.
Which is, again, a biblical metaphor.
Of resurrection.
Yeah.
And you see him like huddled, he looks weak.
Yeah.
And then the priest figure is coming with the cross and his Bible or whatever, right? Trying to confront the devil or the demon. And he tells him, "Oh, show me your true form."
Yeah.
And then over subsequent scenes, I think 2 or 3 takes, you eventually see the Japanese man has become a full-fledged, undeniable demon figure.
Yeah.
But then you see they show his hands, and his hands have a little hole in them.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, okay, definitely they're signifying he was crucified, and maybe that was what the nail hitting earlier was.
Yeah.
But then immediately I was also like, oh, are they saying he's Jesus?
Yeah.
And I think my take was like, oh, that's crazy if they're actually implying that Jesus resurrected and continued living in this world as like a demon form.
Oh,
right? That was my immediate thought. I was like, wow, that is deep.
Yeah.
And yeah, from a Christian perspective, super messed up. But I can respect at least the creativity and the art.
Yeah.
And at least, planting seeds of like, oh, what if that happened?
Yeah.
What if Jesus was still alive today? But not in like let's say angel form that you might think. But he was actually just going around with his supernatural powers, doing whatever he wanted on this planet, right? And I think that's what maybe it was of course it was ambiguous. Yeah. So personally I can say I was not very offended at all by that. And in fact, I respected the creative freedom and liberties they took.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a crazy thing to think about. Yeah.
The way I understood it is that, again, throughout the entire movie, from beginning to end, the whole theme is human suspicion and doubt towards thing that they actually see and what they believe, right? So that's the overall arching theme of the movie, as far as I understand. And at the end of the movie, it almost flips that, like, your perception of Jesus was this, but then can you actually believe that this is a human, or do you not believe, right?
Yeah,
so like very fundamental mind play, I think, was described in that final demon scene.
Yeah, fully agreed. Yeah. The second main theme for me was, or a thing I wanted to talk about with you, maybe not theme. I think the central theme of the movie is, to your point, how one perceives someone's actions or someone's character will completely change how those actions are, again, like whether they're good or bad, right? So the person can do one thing, which is like, I don't know, perform a shamanistic ritual.
Yeah.
And if you think that person's good, you're like, oh, thank God, they're like protecting the village.
Exactly.
But if you think that person's bad, it's like, holy crap, they're casting a curse on the village. And throughout the movie, as they introduce characters and plant seeds of doubt in the viewer, your perception of the Japanese person, that lady in white, the Mudang that performs the ceremony, the daughter for me, the policeman too.
Yeah.
They're constantly shifting back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's good. Oh, he's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's bad. Like
Yeah.
it's just constantly changing.
Yeah.
And I think that was really clever. And I think at the core of the movie,
Yeah.
like,
I think one of the most powerful scenes that symbolically encapsulates all of that is that scene where the lady in white tells him not to go.
yeah. Yeah.
And then he like gets a phone call from the shaman. And he said like, go to your house. And she
Yeah.
says, don't go.
Yeah.
That scene was like so powerful.
Yeah. You were supposed to not know who to trust, right? I think that was the whole
Neither.
point.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember the feeling that I got when I first saw the movie. It's like I still didn't know. I was like in the exact position of the policeman. Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I still don't know, actually. Maybe if you research, you could shed the common understanding of the movie. But is the lady in white actually good?
Yeah.
She's actually good.
She's the person who's trying to guard the town from the evil.
Okay, who is embodying the body of the Japanese man, I believe, for most of the movie. And then at the end, too.
Who?
The
Oh,
demon.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
a demon,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
in the Japanese man's body. But during the chase scene, when he's being chased, to me, clearly he's not evil at that point. He's just like, the evil has left him. But at the end, that he comes back into the vessel.
But you also have a lot of suspicion towards him because you saw the scenes in his house and the photos that he took.
Yeah.
So he's a very suspicious man.
Definitely
at the
he is
least.
suspicious.
Yeah.
But those pictures, I could have seen them being like, I don't know. Yeah, you can always explain away, oh, he took pictures to try to protect them or something. Yeah,
Interesting.
he was always at this crime scene because he's trying to fight against the bad person.
I think another thing that the director did is, again, this is becoming a movie review.
Oh,
but
yeah, a little bit, yeah. That's okay.
The fact that they use a crow, black crow, to symbolize the good was also
good.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think
'Cause
black
the
crows are
crow-
seen as evil in America.
Right? So the crow was supposed to be the guardian of that white lady, I think.
Uh-huh.
Because the crow was in the hangari in the house, right?
Uh-huh.
The shaman like breaks the hangari and you see a dead crow
Yeah, and
inside.
at first you're supposed to think that's a bad omen.
Yeah.
But later on, are you supposed to think that that's a good omen?
Yeah, it was like to protect the house.
I never realized
Yeah.
that. So the lady in white uses black crows
Yeah.
as her protection or signal?
Because at one point the black crows like intrudes into the Japanese man's house and like try to
Yeah, I
attack
remember
them.
that. Yeah. That was one scene too. Again, I think some biblical references where the Mudang's trying to flee,
Yeah.
but then the moths or whatever, locusts, let's say,
yeah.
like shatter his windshield to the point he can't continue driving, so
Yeah.
he turns back.
Yeah. Is that a
And-
biblical thing?
Yeah, one of the plagues, I think, that, Moses or God through Moses launched on Egypt. But actually, that's maybe my outstanding question. If the lady in white was good and the demon figure was bad, the
Yeah.
Japanese man,
Yeah.
was the Mudang that performed the ceremony good or bad? Because
He's
And-
bad.
he's bad.
You clearly see it in the end of the scene.
By the end, I know he's bad.
Yeah.
So my interpretation is that he was actually good up until that moment.
Mm.
And then when the locusts were stopping him from fleeing, he became bad.
Mm.
But I don't know.
I thought the same as you when I first watched the movie, but after seeing the reviews,
It's
there are a
obvious
lot
that-
of like these hints that the director gives throughout the movie
Uh-huh.
to indicate that he's bad. For instance, one of the biggest giveaways is that when he's like, there's a scene where he changes his clothes.
Yeah.
And he's clearly wearing Japanese underwear.
The same underwear that the demon is. Yeah.
so
I noticed that.
Yeah. So I think that's indicating that they're on the same side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
That alone is not enough to convince me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
To me, he felt like I should think of myself a little bit as him. Because he's trying to do good. He's trying to exorcise the demon or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he's confronted with how powerful the evil spirit is.
Oh.
And then he's like, oh, I can't fight it. I better join it.
Oh.
And so for my own personal survival, I better side with the evil, more powerful guy. Even though he's evil, he's more powerful. That's how I interpreted it.
If you interpret it that way, I think it adds another very interesting layer
Yeah.
to all these like doubts and suspicions. And then sometimes like someone is good, but then they become bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They might have good intentions,
Yeah.
but just because they're weak, they
that's-
have to follow what's more powerful.
That's super interesting.
Yeah. I was going to make an analogy actually to American society.
Do it.
I mean, okay, I think a lot of people right now in America will recognize that the president is not acting very presidentially,
Yeah.
or let's say even morally. But at the end of the day, they think, oh well, I'm in danger if I try to oppose him. And so maybe, and there's actually personal things to be gained by aligning with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they're evil,
Yeah.
doing evil things, but I can't stop that anyway. So let me at least just align myself so I can survive and benefit. So I think the Mudang to me, if there's like a good, again, in the white lady, lady in white, let's say, and evil in the Japanese body that's embodied by demon, right? Then the Mudang falls somewhere in between, like, and the Mudang's powerful. Like he's actually pretty spiritually gifted, but he's just not quite as powerful as the demon, so he can't fight it. Anyway, I don't know.
I think that's very deep. I really like your like applying this to the American political state right now, or that this could be applied to anything that's happening around the world. I think in relation to this movie, right, that suspicion, whether you either think this person is good or bad, also has a very strong foundation in thinking of the world in dichotomy, right? Whether this is good or bad. But I think most of the things in the world is in a gradient, right? And it's so easy for people to just fall into this system of like, this is good or bad, like good or evil, right?
Yeah.
So I think that hinders your perception to making the most rational decision, right? I think that's like a flaw of human. That's
one or the other.
Because it's the most easy way to interpret things, right? But there's always a good thing and a bad thing combined together in a certain phenomena, which I think you should always be very aware of. Yeah.
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 Even again, one of the scenes at the end is this innocent young girl who's been taken over by a demon spirit.
Yeah.
Performs horrible things, murders her family, right?
Yeah. Her acting was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, her acting was great. And you can see where she's kind of herself, but sometimes she's possessed.
Yeah.
Right. And anyway, I think in that similar vein, it shows that when she's acting, it might not be of her own volition. But on the surface, she could say, oh, yeah, she killed her parents, her father, her family. But you know it's not her in her own mind, right? So, yeah, Jun, the final way I want to make it really relevant to our podcast is we've discussed this several times on the podcast in previous episodes, but I don't think we've ever gone super deep on this. But one thing you said once that really stuck with me is that let's say in Korea, when Koreans see a foreigner act a certain way, they always attribute it to his foreignness, not to that individual.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's acting this way because he doesn't know better. He's acting this way because he's, a foreigner, a Gyopo, American, black, white, whatever.
Yeah.
And likewise, right, for me as a foreigner being here, whenever I see things in society or bad things happen to me, I tend to attribute it really quickly. My immediate gut shot reaction, it's like, oh, Korean culture, Korean society sucks, right? They're so inconsiderate. They just care about themselves, blah, blah, blah. And while there may be some truth to it, probably far more likely it's just that individual is that way, not society is that way. And so I think similarly, again, so to make the analogy very crisp, it's just like that perception that you have. Let's say as a Korean living in Korea, when you see a foreigner, the perception is, oh, they're a foreigner, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
And for me, again, as a foreigner living here, it's like, oh, when that thing happens, oh, society is wired that way. Of course, that's why it has to happen. And just by having that perception, it does influence like the reality in a sense, right? And what I mean by that is, if I'm looking for things in society to be angered by, I'll probably find them more often, right? And if Koreans are looking at foreigners trying to nitpick at things that they're doing, they're probably going to find more things to nitpick at.
Yeah.
And it kind of reinforces that behavior a bit. Yeah. And I think, again, in the movie, it's like, well, you're supposed to think a certain way about them, and so you see all their actions as evil. But in reality, it might be, oh, they're just possessed at that moment. Or, oh, they're actually acting good, but because you perceive them as evil, their actions feel evil, right? So I just thought it was a really apt analogy to a recurring theme on our podcast that we had brought up, but never really dove deep on. But I think it's really healthy for me, at least personally. Yeah, every time something bad happens to me, I fight that urge to like blame society and just say, okay, well, maybe it was an isolated incident. Maybe it was just that one-off person acting selfishly or whatever it might be.
I love how you bridge the two concepts together. And every time this happens, or like I'm involved in some kind of these incidents where I start to think in that way, it's very hard to not think that way. I think human beings are wired that way. I can almost describe it in the process of evolution, right? Like, let's say you eat like a poison mushroom, and then you were sick for 10 days, and then you wake up and you see a mushroom that looks similarly. You have to be aware of that, right? So I think if you don't have that concept of commonization, like grouping something together into one concept, I think it's very hard for people to navigate life. So it is like somewhat wired in your system, I think, and it's a lot of the times very useful. But also, again, like you described, it hinders your vision a lot, especially when you're interacting with other people. And it's a very difficult quest for me as well to not think that way, because I also think it's somewhat justified in human instinct.
Yeah. I mean, one very concrete example of this is I think in a lot of Korean news headlines I read, there's a lot of backlash over, let's say, the free or visa-free travels from China. It's like so many articles about Chinese behaving badly. Right? Oh, they let their kid pee on the side of the road in Jeju, right? But in my mind, I'm like, Korean kids pee all the time on the side of the road in Jeju. You know, why is it so bad when a Chinese person comes and does it, right? I have kids, June. If they got to go, they got to go, right? I'd rather them go on the side of the road rather than them pee the car, pee their pants or whatever. So I'm like thinking like, oh, shoot, if I did that and I look different, they'd be like, oh, American letting their kids, you know, pee on the side of the road. But because I look Korean, I think they'll let it slide. But yeah, just a very concrete example of just how perception impacts, let's say, reality this way.
I love how you brought this movie, because right after watching this movie, I was like, can we even record something out of this? Because I don't see any cultural references here, right? But then I love how you brought this concept into our common theme of the podcast, and I think it became something very deep.
It's what I do, Jin. It's what I do.
Before we end, I could not mention this scene because I think it must have flew over your head. But there's this, if you describe Gokseong to a Korean person and ask them to point out one powerful scene, everyone would point to this one scene.
Wait.
But it's very language related, so I thought that you wouldn't have noticed this.
Sorry, say that again. So what is one powerful scene about Gokseong?
This
in
entire
this
movie. Or some scene that became very famous amongst Koreans when they're referring to this movie.
I got nothing.
It's the scene where the policeman knows that there's something going on with his daughter. And so at some moment he realized that there's some relation between people who are possessed to the demon that has like this horrible rash. And so he investigates his daughter when she's sleeping, and she like sort of like looks with like a torchlight. She looks into.
Oh, he lifts up her dress to see her body.
And then she wakes up, and then she like overreacts while being possessed, right? And she says this line, and it's like very thick 전라도 accent. Which is very. It's indicating that she's possessed because it's something that an adult would say. And she says, 무엇이 중요한디?
No idea.
It's in Seoul word, it's 무엇이 중요한데, like what is important. But in 전라도 accent, you would say 무엇이 중요한디.
무엇이 중요한디? Okay.
And she keeps on saying that. And it's like such a powerful line. It's like what you don't even know what's important, kind of.
Okay.
And I think that's somewhat aligned to the theme of the movie as well.
Don't think you know everything. Don't assume what you see is important.
Yeah.
Interesting.
무엇이 중요한지.
Yeah. When that child actor was possessed.
Yeah.
And I think in that same conversation or like when she was going off, I found it awesome though. Yeah. Because she was talking like an old man.
Yeah.
But like, I think she was cursing a lot in thick accent. It was pretty awesome to see.
Crazy.
Yeah. I liked it. I guess a part of me wants to rewatch it now with some more context. But not, I in general don't rewatch movies unless they're mindless action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to just not think. This is not one of those, so I doubt I'll ever rewatch it, but maybe the occasion will come up with my kids in the future or something.
I did think it was awesome that I had the opportunity to rewatch it after knowing all the meanings. And if you see it the second time, it hits differently.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I probably won't, but when that occasion comes up, I'll look forward to it. Okay, Jun, as always with our media reviews, I want us both to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 meaning it would have far more appeal for a Korean native viewer, and 10 meaning it would have just as much appeal as a non-native Korean viewer. So where would you put it on the spectrum?
I would put it as 7.5. What about you?
I actually put it much lower. I thought it was like a 5.5. Yeah.
I'm also influenced because while I was doing light research on this movie, I saw a Reddit thread, someone asking for great horror movies, like great Asian horror movies. And I think one of the best voted comments was the Wailing.
Yeah.
So I think this has some appeal, and also it has like this theme of Christianity. And when I saw the movie, I thought there's no really significant cultural reference to this. So I think it could be very easily translated. But yeah.
Maybe it's my personal bias against horror.
Yeah.
I like kind of the deep spiritual thinking stuff, but I don't consider myself a sophisticated movie viewer by any means. So I'm after having seen it, I'm a bit confused why it's so critically acclaimed. I don't know if I saw that Reddit thread, but in general, it's recommended a ton.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to watch Korean movies, this is one of the top 10 movies you have to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think my life would be any different had I not seen it.
I think it also attributes to your lack of affinity towards horror movies in general, no?
Definitely that's a part of it.
Yeah.
But the reason why I rated it kind of low is that I was pretty confused. Yeah, even with the subtitles and everything. And yeah, I just, for example, like the setting was confusing to me. I know who was good and who was bad was supposed to be confusing to me. But just, I'd say throughout the movie, I just felt a little confused. And I wouldn't attribute all of that to the intention of the director. I think it was very Korean specific with the Mudang and the dialect and the setting. And yeah, some of those things, it felt very Korean culturally oriented. So
you put it at 4?
I said 5.5.
5.5, okay.
Yeah. I think it's
not bad.
Pretty much in the middle, but yeah, I think Koreans would enjoy it much more than non-Koreans. But I don't know. Again, it's what do I know about film?
No, but I thought your interpretation was awesome. I think you could be an amateur film critic.
I don't know about that, but thank you. Yeah. All right, I think we can wrap with that.
Okay.
That's it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed our media review of The Wailing. As always, if you'd like to support our podcast, the best thing you can do is share our content with someone you think might be interested or benefit from it. Other than that, you can support us on Patreon for the minimum tier of $1 a month. You too can get access to our Patreon, our Discord, where you can connect with other listeners, discuss the latest episode, give us feedback, as well as suggest future episode topics. This is the second episode of a back-to-back, so there's no new Patreon since last episode.
You didn't have to mention that.
I think it's fine. Okay. As always, thank you for listening. And,
thank you.
Yeah, see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Jun, what about the characters? I think that's one thing I noted. None of the actors seem famous to me. I think I recognized the police captain.
Oh, the younger
No, the older captain. The captain. He wasn't he was traveling in the beginning, then he came back
I
and
didn't
made fun
recognize
of...
him.
Oh, really? Let me look it up.
But the antagonist, I think it was his first role as an antagonist.
Oh, the Japanese man.
No. The cop.
Oh, the main cop is famous?
He was famous as a supporting role, but then I think Gokseong was his first act as a main leading role.
He's famous?
That guy? Yeah, that guy's famous.
Kwak Do-won?
Kwak Do-won's famous.
Really?
But most importantly, the shaman, Hwang Jung-min.
The main Mudang?
Yeah.
He's famous?
He's like one of the top 5. If not top 3, I want to say.
No, because the top... Okay, to a Korean you're saying.
No, but he...
No, this is like saying the Squid Game guy. What is his name?
Lee Jung-jae?
He's very famous, right? He's not famous to non-Koreans.
Hwang Jung-min is much more famous than Lee Jung-jae.
Oh,
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wait, did you not see 국제시장?
I saw 국제시장.
He's the main role.
I don't remember characters and faces. No, I know I love that movie, but so he was the main lead in that.
And did you see 서울의 봄? No.
No, wait, Soul Spring.
The one depicting the
Hold on.
yeah.
Let me look him up. So first of all, you're saying the main cop Kwak Do-won is
Yeah.
famous, but I'm
Yeah.
looking through his filmography and
But he was mostly as a supporting role, so
Okay,
you
okay,
must
okay.
you
You
might
might-
you might not recognize him.
Hwang Jung-min, yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
The main Mudang. I recognize he was kind of like, he was good looking and his Mudang performance was awesome.
He's the biggest movie star in Korean movie scene right now.
Okay. I've never seen him. General Sun. He was in Shiri, which I've never seen.
Do you know?
Waikiki Brothers, Good Lord.
I think it's because you watch more dramas than movies.
I watch dramas.
Yeah.
So he's mega
He's a
movie
guy.
star.
Yeah.
Dramas are beneath him.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, he's been around since 1990.
Well, he's also in Suriname. Suriname?
I don't think I watched that. Oh, he literally only does movies, I think.
He did. He. Well, if he does dramas, he's like doing Netflix and Disney Plus.
Okay, Ode to My Father was 국제시장, which I remember watching, loving, and crying a ton,
Yeah.
but I do not recognize him.
He's the main character there.
June, again, you have to understand for me, Korean faces are so hard to distinguish and memorize. But okay, no, to be fair,
Yeah.
I'm bad with all faces. Yeah, white actors, Asian actors, I confuse them all.